These leaders of M23 and the majority of their fighters came from Uganda, where they had been as refugees who ran away from, or as a result of solving the problem of 2012, 2013, when these people moved to Uganda and others came here. I remember for specific actually number, those who came here were between 500 and 600, whom we disarmed and gave back arms to the government of DRC at the time. And had been kept here for a long time until when things as they kept changing, the government of DRC used to send even their officials to come and speak to people here, where we had held them in camps, to speak to them purportedly to resolve their problems. It went on back and forth for a long time. The problems were never resolved. But these are not the ones who started the fighting. And if you want to see where these people, most of them are still here. The fighting was started by the main group that was in and from Uganda. So how did it become Rwanda's problem, honestly?
Who are the M23 rebels and why are they trying to overthrow the Congolese government? If you've been keeping an eye on international news, you might have come across stories about a group called the M23 rebels and their ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC for short. But who are they? And why are they trying to overthrow the Congolese government? So let's break this down in simple terms. The M23 rebel group, also known as the March 23rd movement, emerged in 2012. Their name comes from a failed peace agreement that was signed on March 23, 2009. This agreement was supposed to integrate a previous rebel group, the National Congress for the Defense of the People, into the Congolese army. But according to M23, the government didn't hold up its end of the deal. Many of M23's members were former fighters from the CNDP, which was primarily made up of ethnic Tutsi fighters. Well, for those of you who don't know who the Tutsi are, well, that means you have to go back to the Rwandese genocide. So when Rwanda had a genocide, many of the Tutsi ran to neighboring countries to seek refuge, Congo inclusive. So these are the ones we are talking about. So this connection is key because ethnic tensions in the DRC, particularly between Tutsi and other groups, have been deep, historical, ever since they arrived in Congo. M23 claims that they are fighting for the rights of their communities. They accuse the Congolese government of corruption, neglect, and discrimination against certain ethnic groups, especially the Tutsi population. They also argue that the government has failed to provide security, economic opportunities, and basic services in Eastern Congo, where M23 operates. But their critics see things differently, Congolese civilians inclusive. Many accuse M23 of being more interested in controlling Eastern Congo's rich natural resources such as gold, tin, coltan, and so many other minerals that are crucial for making electronics. This region is incredibly resource rich. No one can doubt that, and controlling it can mean big money for whoever is in charge. So why is Eastern Congo so chaotic? To understand why groups like M23 even exist, you need to know a little about Eastern Congo. It's been a hotspot for conflict for decades. This area borders Rwanda and Uganda, and it's home to dozens of armed groups. Many of these groups formed after the Rwanda genocide in 1994, which sent waves of refugees and fighters into Congo. On top of that, the DRC's government has struggled to maintain control over this vast region. Corruption, weak institutions, and a lack of infrastructure have created a power vacuum which groups like M23 exploit. So, is anyone helping? That's something you should ask yourself right now. Well, the Congolese army has been fighting M23 for so many years, but their efforts have been inconsistent. There are also United Nations peacekeepers in the region, known as MONUSCO. They are one of the largest peacekeeping missions in the world, but they have been criticized for not doing enough to stop the violence. Countries like Rwanda and Uganda have also been accused of supporting M23, although both deny it. Rwanda in particular has been in the spotlight because of its government's connections to Tutsi communities. Some believe that Rwanda supports M23 to protect its own interests in the region, including access to Congo's resources. So what's happening now? Recently, M23 has made a comeback. After being pushed back in 2023, they re-emerged in late 2021 and have captured several towns in eastern Congo. This has caused tens of thousands of people to flee their homes, creating a humanitarian crisis. The DRC government has accused Rwanda of backing M23's resurgence, which has led to the tensions between the two countries. Meanwhile, international organizations and regional leaders are calling for peace talks, including African Union, but progress has been slow. Why should you care? You watching this video. You might be wondering, why does this matter to me? Well, conflicts like this, one often have ripple effects. For example, the minerals mined in eastern Congo end up in products we use every day, like smartphones and laptops. So the fight over these resources can indirectly involve companies and consumers worldwide. Plus, the human cost of this conflict is enormous. Millions of people have been displaced, and countless lives have been lost. Understanding what's happening in the DRC is a step towards raising awareness and pushing for solutions. In other words, the M23 rebels are a group fighting against the Congolese government, claiming they are standing up for marginalized communities. However, their actions have been contributed to the chaos in eastern Congo, or they have contributed to the chaos in eastern Congo, a region already plagued by conflict. The situation is complex, with ethnic tensions, resource control, and regional politics all playing a role. So by learning about this, we can better understand the challenges the DRC faces and the importance of finding lasting peace in this part of the world. Well, before I conclude this video, there's something I want to talk about. Many people have been asking whether Africa will ever see peace. Many people have been asking whether Africa will ever be fully under Africans. And many people still are asking whether African problems will have African solutions. And the answer is no. There will never be a peaceful Africa as of now. You may ask yourself, why am I saying that? Because of things, or because of controversial civil wars, controversial attacks like the M23 rebel attack or the Congo crisis. You see, as Africans, we have always been blaming the colonizers. We usually say they are the ones who did this and that. But what happened when they left? We kept on attacking our own brothers and neighbors. So if you tell me whether Africa will ever see peace, as long as we are still fighting each other like this, there will never be peace. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed night.